All right, my friends, welcome back to the Gun Show. I gotta say, I'm a bit exhausted today, so I'm gonna do something that's gonna wake me up. It's also more terrified than I've ever been in my entire life doing a podcast, and you're gonna find out why in just a moment. For those of you joining me for the first time, the Gun Show is about humanizing the industry of engineering and manufacturing. We will talk about technology. I got some really cool people with me today that's going to talk about their technology, starting their own business. AeroX Technologies up in Canada, kind of filtration stuff, the growth of that. We also don't really talk about muscles so much. So if you've tuned into the Gun Show for muscles, well, actually, George got some muscles. But Kay and I, we're in trouble. We're still trying to work on those. If you've tuned in for guns, we may or may not talk about that. But this is quite literally my last name, G-U-N-N, Gun. And this is presented by MTDCNC. I know you know us. We are all over the place. And I do mean the world. So with that being said, we're going to get this show started. We're going to get it underway. I will now reiterate why I'm scared. My buddy Eric, kind of one of the guys who's in charge of AeroX Filtration. How do I start this? Let me go back one more step. I have a friend named Mike Seitz. He's been talking to me lately about challenging me to a pepper contest that he's been growing in his garden. And we actually have a couple of Carolina Reapers right here. I was going to eat this at the end. I don't have milk. I don't have cookies. Santa Claus isn't coming. Any of that kind of stuff is just not happening. We have a couple of Carolina Reapers. All I have is a low-sodium vegetable juice and a zero-calorie Gatorade. I think that's not going to help, but I'm going to take a bite. And Kay, crazy enough, is going to do the same. George, what do you think, George? You're not going to do this, are you?
Y'all crazy.
Y'all crazy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we a little bit are. So real quick, I'm going to introduce them. I'm going to take a bite of this. Eric thought it'd be more fun for me to do this at the beginning instead of the end so I can cry the whole freaking time, choke on my own spit, whatever. Have you seen Hot Ones when they eat those chicken wings? You seen that?
Yep.
You seen that one, Kay?
I've seen that one.
Yeah, it gets bad. They end with Carolina Reaper style stuff. We're starting with Carolina Reaper style. Okay, anyway, let's get this over with, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So, usually for my podcast, I only have audio. We are fortunate enough today to have the really incredible team of MTD from the UK. We have some really awesome producers, videographers, David, Joe, Jake, Will. I mean, these guys are awesome. Chris isn't here at the moment, but let's go ahead and throw him in there too. So this is also not just audio, but video. Okay, guys. Bon appetit.
Let's do it.
Y'all shaking already.
Oh my gosh, that is not, oh my gosh, that was the tiniest little bite too.
Oh, shit.
God bless y'all.
All right, I'm going to get into this because I got to get somebody else to talk. All right, we're going to do George because Kay and I are going to be in trouble for a few minutes. George.
What's up?
You started your own business. This is George McCorley, by the way. Started your own business, Moonlight Precision. For those of you looking to start a business.
You can't even finish a sentence.
Woo-wee, baby.
Let's go.
Yes. I started my own business about a year ago during COVID. I've always wanted to be my own boss. I've been in manufacturing for about 6 years now. Worked at aerospace manufacturing for about 6 years. Done 5-axis, lathes, 3-axis, the whole 9 yards. And I've, built up the confidence to put a tiny Kitamura in my garage and to get going from there. Man, y'all can't even say a word, huh?
You have a tiny Kitamura in your garage?
Yeah,
I got
a My
Center.
So I have a 1994 My Center Zero, 10 by 12 by 12 travel.
Well, I'm going to give a shout out to Carrie. Carrie, you are awesome. We've worked with Kitamura for a couple years now. Incredible machines. In fact, we might head over to Jimtoff and do a factory tour with Kitamura. So I know you'll be watching that, George, as well.
I surely will be.
Okay, how you doing, brother?
I'm surviving.
Can you feel your entire body burning? Is it in your throat right now?
Yeah.
All right, Kay, it's your turn to try and talk about AeroX if you can.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name's Kay. I work for AeroX Technologies. We manufacture mist collectors that go on CNC machines. Okay. Give me a second.
Guys, Tony is crying right now. He is literally crying.
Man.
So I'm going to go in with Kay because I feel the struggle. AeroX Filtration in Canada is pretty cool. One of my favorite things that they do is take a smoke bomb, light that bad boy up, and not like a baby smoke bomb, like a giant smoke bomb that the filtration system sucks it all in, and you pull the filtration system out, and it's still able to be used, and that's how clean they can make your air. And I've always talked to Eric, why is it important? And it's a very simple answer when it comes to filtration. It's we like our lungs, right? Like we want to breathe. You know, we want to enjoy our lives a bit longer. They're sucking in the fumes. So filtration is so important. Kay, do you want me to give you a break, or do you want to go into why that filtration is important? You all right?
If you're in there, I'm in there.
All right, brother.
Yeah, filtration is important because, you know, the industry has been changing. You know, 30, 40 years ago, nobody cared about mist collection. Everyone was smoking cigarettes. You know, it was like, it's a machine shop, suck it up. You know, that was kind of the mentality. But over the years, nobody wants to work in a dirty place, right? Nobody wants to inhale coolant 24/7. And that's what the mist collector does. It gets directly installed on a CNC machine, filters it out, so you know you're not breathing coolant mist or oil mist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly right. And well done. Knowing your throat is absolutely on fire, because I can feel it too. George, I want to go into some inspiration with you, man, because the reason when I saw you day before yesterday and you pulled me aside and you're like, hey, man, I know you. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm ready to know you. And you told me you started your own machine shop business. Immediately, I knew I wanted to get you on the podcast, because it's important for us, if we have the platform at MTDCNC on the Gun Show, to support people and give them a voice in this industry, especially someone driven like yourself, strong, well-spoken. I want you to have the ability and the platform to succeed, yes, for you, but also to succeed for others. I want other people out there to go, you know what? I heard that podcast with George on it. I think I can do it as well. What was the courage and inspiration? Do you say, man, I like tinkering, I think I can do this, or you really want to grow this into something major at some point?
I want to grow this into a major team, no more than like maybe 6 or 8 team players. But you know, I'm looking at where this industry has taken people, has taken the business that I worked for. You know, it's kind of just like I want to be my own boss as well too, and be able to make those decisions myself. But I mean, a lot of the inspiration, and I'll be honest with you, was from watching, and you know, John Saunders, John Grimzo, and some of these other guys on YouTube and Instagram. You know, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. But you know, you also have to have this passion to want to do it, this passion to want to be a leader and to grow something. You know, you say, or they say that all these great entrepreneurs, they started out at the garage. You know. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Bill Gates was not Bill Gates, but Steve. Yeah, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was one of them. And there's a bunch of other people that started out in the garage. You know, I wanted to have the same story. You know, started out in my garage and I went somewhere with it. You know, I took this thing somewhere, and I want to lead a good group of people with this as well too. You know.
Yeah, you definitely will. I'm a little bit mad at you at this moment, though, because you said I like John Saunders and you named a couple other people, but you're sitting on the MTD podcast right now. Okay. And you didn't say nothing about our stuff.
Okay, but so I've been watching MTD for years, but it's mainly UK. And now that you guys are in the U.S., you know, I can't stop watching you guys. You know, you could go in places and into machine shops and into and all these other plants that, you know, that I want to go into, you know, so... I've been watching you. I've been keeping you in the back of my...
It's all right. I didn't mean to put you in the corner, buddy. I was just kidding.
It's all good.
I'm actually a big fan of NYCNC myself. I'm a big fan of Titans of CNC. You know, I follow along with Practical Machinists. You know, I like what Jake Hall is doing, like what Megan Zimba's doing. You know, there's a whole lot of people out there that are making a name for themselves. And to me, there's no such thing as competition, not because of being egotistical and we're better than everyone. It's because we're in an industry where we need more voices.
We have to work together.
Yeah, this is a thing where we have to work together.
We have to.
If we're all empowering an industry that moves the entire world around us, if anyone looks around and goes, phones, cars, satellites, planes, computers, the thing we're sitting on, the microphones we're talking on, all this stuff, why wouldn't we just all get along and wish the best for each other, right?
You know what? That's exactly how I feel. We got to wish the best for each other. We have to work together in this industry to make this industry become even better than it was before. Because America was once a great champion, and now I'm about to plug champion nows for my boss. But still, you know, America, if you flip the card over, you could read it. America was once one of the greatest champions, and is still one of the greatest champions when it comes to manufacturing. And we have to change that and change how it's perceived. you know.
Imagine we offshore just about everything we could and still remain number 2 in the world in manufacturing. What happens when we reshore everything?
Man.
With that being said, Kay, let's get back to you because I'm actually feeling good now.
I'm feeling all right.
Like I'm to the point of ready for another bite almost. You know,
Yeah.
I'm back to normal again. So let's get back to who you are, your career, how you got into it, because I know a lot about that, but the world doesn't, and they're about to. And I got to talk to you already. You speak like 75 languages or something like that.
I speak-
AeroX was lucky enough to snag you, but you got a beautiful career ahead of you. Let's talk about where you came from and what you're doing.
Yeah. So I'm 21 years old. I just recently graduated university. I'm going to be honest, I kind of fell into the manufacturing world like a lot of people do. You know, when I was studying finance, I thought I was going to be one of those banker guys. But, you know, like any senior graduating, I started applying for jobs. You know, I was on that LinkedIn grind. I was applying, easy apply. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? But yeah, I kind of stumbled across.
Do it.
Yo, that's all you, man.
Do it.
Keep going with your story.
Yeah.
No, we just got a comment from our friend John on LinkedIn. He says, "LOL, take another bite."
Oh man.
Keep going with your story. We'll think about that, John. We'll think about that. It was a real struggle for about 5 minutes. We'll think about that.
Yeah, that was tough. But yeah, you know, I thought I was going to be a banker. You know, I started applying. I graduated from Western University. I'm from Canada. You know, the great up north. It gets pretty cold there.
Six God.
Yeah, Six God. You guys know where Drake lives. You know, that's where he lives. But yeah, I found this company on LinkedIn. It was AeroX Technologies. They were applying for, they were hiring an account executive. And, you know, I thought I could do it. I wanted to shoot my shot just like a lot of people do, right? You know, why not? Why not me? So I applied. I talked to Eric. You know, he's been on the podcast. We had a Zoom call, and it went well. You know, I liked his energy. Just like how, you know, you guys both have similar infectious energy. You know, I vibe off that. And, yeah, I wanted to go in and see what it was about. I'm not going to lie. I freaked out a little bit.
Well, we all freak out a little bit in the beginning. So I'm going to ask you guys some non-manufacturing questions because the point of this podcast is also to get to know each of you. So just random questions here and there. So I'm going to start first with you, George. Oh, firstly, before I get to that, look what George made me. David, by chance, can you zoom in on this? You're not listening to me. He's lost in his own world. Are you able to zoom in on this, David, by chance? So George made this for me at the Student Summit this week. That is such a cool little gift to give. I was asked if it was a weed vape, which it's not. I just want you guys to know it's not. It is actually some pins, some really high quality wooden pins, and that is such a nice gift. With that being said, thank you so much.
No problem.
George, what do you like to do the most on your day off?
Play beach volleyball.
No way.
Yeah. I play volleyball. I've been playing for some years now, but since high school. But I play at a bar league, and that's about it. Play beach volleyball and hang out with my wife.
That's all right. That's all right. By the way, if you guys have questions for these guys outside of what I'm asking them, please send them in. I'm happy to ask. That's what's fun about being interactive with you guys. All right, Kay, simple one for you because, you know, well, I don't know if it will be. But just for fun, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? And money doesn't matter, time doesn't matter, just an imagination of I would love to see that place.
Brazil. Hands down, I want to go to Brazil.
Well, you can't end it there. You got to say
Yeah,
why.
yeah. I'll tell you why. Actually, last week or just before coming to IMTS, there's this pool bar that I go to sometimes on the weekends.
Did you meet a chick?
Yeah,
Is this where this is going?
We'll get to there. We'll get to there. But it was Brazilian Independence Day, and it was a Brazilian-themed party. You know, Toronto is pretty culturally different, just like Chicago, right? You see a lot of different people. But I was at this pool bar, right? And you know, I was speaking to people, trying to, you know, mingle with the crowd, and some people caught my interest. You know, I'll leave it out that. And
Was she thick?
she was pretty thick. I'm not gonna lie.
How
you
did
know?
we get here on this podcast? What is going on? All right, guys, we got to change the subject a little bit. Apparently, Kay loves Brazil because the women are beautiful. All right, next question will be for you, George. You ready?
Go for it.
Dead or alive, if you could spend 30 minutes sipping on a cup of coffee or tea with any one person, who would you want to sit with?
Dead or alive?
All right,
Damn.
while George is
Yeah,
thinking
that's
of that,
a hard one.
John, I'm going to go ahead and take you up on this thing you sent me. I'm going to take another bite because I'm a real dummy. That's very obvious. So one more bite for you, John. If somebody else sends in, take one more bite. I don't know if I can do it, but yeah, keep the comments coming. Gosh, this is not great. All right, did you think about something, George?
Denzel Washington.
Tell me why.
That's a good one.
Great actor. Great person around. I've heard nothing but good. Damn, oh my God. You okay?
No, I'm not.
You good?
It's got that kick.
You got a bag over here?
Don't
for
worry
him?
about me. Don't worry about me. You keep going.
Nah,
Do like my colleagues do. They never worry about me. You keep doing your thing.
no, he's just, I've heard nothing but great things. And, I'd like to, just sit down and pick his brain. I've watched some podcasts or not podcasts, but videos that he's been on speaking, and he just seems like a great person to be around with.
What's your favorite movie
My favorite movie.
he's been in? Yeah.
Oh, my favorite movie that he's been in.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
If you had to
damn.
choose
I
one.
couldn't actually. Oh, man. I don't know, to be honest with you. Because, there was a recent one. I can't remember the name of it. I'm terrible with movie titles, honestly, because I don't watch that many movie titles.
Yeah.
But,
The one where he did that thing where he was
well,
really
you
good
know
at
what?
it?
You know
The
what?
one where he was a great actor?
Most of his movies, he's just saving a chick.
Where he's like,
He
I'm
was
King
saving a chick.
Kong.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, there was a
That's
good
a
one that he
powerful
was
scene.
in.
I like
I
that
can't
one.
remember that.
All right, Kay, I got one for you as well.
How you feeling?
If you were, I'm all right, man. So for those of you who don't know, I guess at this point you probably do. I travel a lot. So India, Korea, Thailand, Mexico. Send messages in if you think your country is spicier than those countries. But I've eaten the spicy foods in all those countries. So while I am suffering, knowing that the Carolina Reaper is the hottest on the planet, I'm not dying like some people would be. And yes, I'm sipping some low sodium B8 juice, and my voice is cracking a little bit, but I'm not dying. With that being said, we'll come to you for a minute, Kay. If you could write a book right now about your most passionate thing, what would that book be about?
Well, that's a good question. During COVID-19, I think during the pandemic, a lot of things shut down, right? And a lot of people who were active before, they weren't able to go to the gym, and a lot of people use the gym to, lift, get strong. George, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, let's go. Give me one. Yeah. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
This is the gun show.
This is a gun show. But yeah, so in COVID you can't tell right now, but I was about 190. I blew up there. I used food as a coping mechanism. I like McDonald's.
It's a great way to bulk, though. I'll tell you that.
It's a great way. I was on the dirty bulk. I was about dirty bulking for 2 years.
Oh,
Hold that
man.
there, yeah. But I kind of realized. I looked in the mirror and realized I didn't like what I saw, and I decided to change it.
Okay. All right. That's good for you.
That's a book.
I appreciate
So
that.
the book would be about you gaining weight or losing weight or,
Both.
or
The
COVID?
journey.
The journey through it. It's not a one-time thing. It's a lifestyle. So.
It is a lifestyle. It's a hard
what I'm
journey.
talking-
It is a really very hard journey to be consistent, and that's something I'm trying to do. And I'm not going to try to plug another thing, but I think I'm going to start 75 hard in a couple weeks. If you
Okay.
guys haven't heard about it.
Yeah, 70 hard. That's gonna be a challenge.
Yeah. I want to try it.
That sounds good. George, I want to get back into manufacturing a little bit, if that's all right, because we're getting to know you guys, and that's what makes this thing fun. But I also want the world to know, and everyone who's listening, that when everyone's starting up a machine shop, the most difficult part is trying to fund yourself and get started. So, we need jobs coming in, but if the jobs come in, they got to be precise jobs. And if we don't support those customers and those parts aren't good, we're not going to get second jobs and third jobs. So
Yep.
if your company's out there and you like to donate some product or some technology to a guy like George who's up and coming, and we're trying to support this reshoring initiative, and we're trying to support our youth and these entrepreneurs, and you have stuff and you want to utilize George as maybe an influencer to have your stuff out there and create something powerful for you, reach out to him. I got his card right here. It's Moonlight Precision LLC. His name is George at moonlightprecision.com. That'd be the email. Is there a website yet, George?
Yep, it's George at Moonlight Precision, or not, I'm sorry, moonlightprecision.com.
Yeah, so moonlightprecision.com. I highly recommend you guys reach out to him. When we're talking about commodity items like tooling, it can get real expensive real fast. When we're talking about work holding, I mean, I got my buddies over at Juergens. We filmed with them today. Shunk was over in Germany with Lang the other day. Worked with Fifth Axis for a little bit. You know, friends with Raptor. If you guys out there want to donate some work holding, I mean, he's got the Kitamura, so you know he's got the precision, Japanese quality. You know, see, that's that pepper talking, stuttering all over myself. Get some items over to him and support this dude. Now, with that being said, George, if you had an ultimate dream, would it be to give back to the community with the machine shops where you can support and hire some kids that look like they could use some help as well? Would you see something like that for yourself?
That's actually kind of where I'm thinking about going while working with my current boss on his campaign for Champion now and bringing manufacturing back to America and getting kids into manufacturing. I was thinking, I had this thought that, okay, I'm going to have a machine shop, but I can't have it in a brick house. I want it with windows. I want it so that people can come by and see what I'm doing. Yes, you know, I want to be ISO and AS91 certified, and you can't have that. But still, it'd be nice to be able to just like, you know how you go to a shopping center, you can just window shop. You know, I'm a window shopper. That's what I'm doing right now in IMTS is window shopping. But still, you know, I want my community to see what I do. I want my community to know that I have these types of machines. I don't want them to ask, what are these machines and what are these machines doing? Because that's the only way we're going to get people into this industry is if they see it.
George, did you tell me a rumor as well that I had recently talked to a young lady by the name of Melissa, who's got a couple of Haas machines over there, and we interviewed her at the Selway Machine Tool. Shout out to you, Zach, by the way. You guys are awesome. And now she's sponsored and working as an influencer with Trinity Robotics.
If I'm not correct, I mean, if she can correct me if I'm wrong, but she was on Within Tolerance, and she opened up about her being sponsored by Trinity, and I mean, she's got a whole Trinity system. She was here the other day with Trinity hanging out with them. I didn't get a chance to go say hello, but, you know, I'm even thinking about using Trinity, to be honest with you.
Oh, it's a great product. So, Melissa Ramos, congratulations. Kudos to you. Keep that thing going. I saw you launch a YouTube channel, as you should. I know people are donating to you. I keep up with you on Instagram, and it was a pleasure to interview you over at the Selway show. Let's get back in. Now that your mouth is kind of less watering now, Kay, you're not burning quite as much.
I'm chilling right
Let's
now.
give a real presentation, the one that Eric, your boss, your buddy, your friend would be proud of.
Sell me on one.
About AeroX. I mean, we got filtration out there all over the place. And something I learned recently, which I thought was cool, is automation, automation, automation. We talk about it every day, all the time. The whole world is going to it. It's how we compete in the world. It's how we reshore in the world. You know, all this stuff, right? But when we think about automation, we immediately think about robots, cobots, pallet change, bar feed, right? We think about these things immediately. What I did not realize was the importance of coolant and the importance of filtration and the importance of, shout out to you, Shannon, fire trace that stops the fires in the middle of the night when we're not there. The importance of machine monitoring to make sure that all the information we got through the night knows that our machines were running through the night at what percentage and at what speed, and are we profiting so that we can quote better. Man, I'm running out of breath, but it's that much passion. So, filtration is also very important to these needs. Would you mind explaining a bit more about AeroX now that your drool is a little less than mine from this pepper?
Oh yeah, for sure. So there's a lot of misconception that mist collectors are only for people, you know, taking away that coolant. But when you think about adding automation, how often are you running those machines? 24/7, right? That's the idea. So when you invest in automation, you're buying a robot. It can go up to, you know, you see these robots here, they're almost 500 grand, you know, and it's a big investment. And a mist collector, what it does for robots is make sure it's not clean. You don't want any coolant residue on the wiring. You don't want a dirty shop. You don't want to damage the robot in any way. You want to protect your investment, and that's what a mist collector does. You know, AeroX, we protect our machines, and we protect employees. You know, people working there as well.
You know, at the end of the day, ultimately, and I hear this a lot, and I was actually on the Lindex Nick and booth just yesterday, and we were talking with Tom. Tom is such a good guy. Where's Rowan? Rowan's right over there. Tom was such a good dude on the Lindex Nick and booth, and both Rowan and I, we were discussing how every time we talked about customers being satisfied and happy, he just lit up. Like the smile grew and grew. And so we took moments, Rowan and I both, and said, John, I know we're talking about technology today, but take a moment to show and talk about how much your customers matter to you. I get that same vibe from the folks over at AeroX.
Yeah, I mean, customer service is definitely one of the biggest points that, was told to me. It's like we want to care for our customers. If there's an issue, we want to get there, see what the problem is. We're literally one call, one email, one text away. If you have an issue with the mist collector, we're there for you.
I like it. George, I'm going to come back to you now. You gave me 2 business cards here, right?
Yes, I did.
And one of them is your company, and one of them is Iverson and Company. So it would be remiss of me not to at least give a shout out to the company you're with now. And I don't even think we even started on how you got into this industry before starting your own business. So did you even mean to be here? Because I got kicked out of 3 colleges before I got here. So how did you get here?
I started off actually in the automotive industry. I was an automotive technician. I worked for Toyota for about 2 years. And then I worked at a small Audi independent shop for another couple years. But I was in the gym with a buddy of mine who actually, he came by and said hello today. And he said, hey, my place is hiring. We're looking for people. I need somebody to, keep up with inventory and stuff and to keep things tight, nice and tidy, and so I said, sure, why not, Plus I got back issues because I got tired of bending over and working on cars all day. But, I was looking for a different change in career. So I took him up on an opportunity. Started out as just, placing material by machines and, sweeping the shop floors, literally sweeping the shop floors. I did it for almost like 10 hours one day because there was nothing else for me to do. But I started asking questions, being in a big shop with multi 5-axis machines, Makino T1s, DMGs all around me. I started asking questions saying, hey, what's this? What's this? How can I be that? How do I do that? Why are you doing this? And he's like, okay, you keep asking questions. So now let's get you on the machine. So first, I started doing small setups and then working my way up. And I put myself through community college, used what I learned in college to move up in where I was at. And then sooner than later, I was then programming and then doing setups and programming. So I was like, okay, well, I can do this. Let's try to move myself and lead. So how I came to Iverson was because I kind of got tired of a little shop bureaucracy. I'm not going to say anything, but, all shops have it, to be honest with you. They really do. And more I talk to people, they actually say they have it. But, I got tired of it, and I told Terry that I was looking to start my own business. And he said, okay, well, I'll mentor you. So he's been mentoring me for like the last couple of years. And then I got tired of my place, and I said, hey, I think I'm ready to move on. And he's like, all right, well, I got a place for you if you want to come. You got to learn sales because you need sales. And I'm like, I don't want to learn sales, but obviously you need sales to make a business run. So you got to learn sales somehow. So I took him up on the position, and now I'm doing sales and applications engineering. So yeah, that's what I do now.
I like it. So we're going to start closing this thing out, not immediately, but when I close out the gun show normally when I'm at my home enjoying, well, I'm not home much. You guys know that. Sometimes I'm doing this podcast from hotels and airports and all sorts of fun stuff. But I like to end this thing with something that's called 2 Truths and a Lie. You guys ever heard of that before?
Yeah. Oh, where are the shots at?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think we might have a bottle of wine over there, but no shots at the moment. But you know that game?
Yeah.
I'm going to go first to give you guys some time to think about what's real and what's not, all right?
All right.
So you can make up your own truths and lies. You got some thinking to do, but I'll give you mine first. Let's see. I have won a Fear Factor contest. I was a hip-hop artist for 10 years. And I have surfed in a Category 5 hurricane.
Those are some pretty wild truths and a lie.
Can't even pick out which
I
one.
can't even pick one. You know what?
You go first, George.
I think. Am I supposed to guess which one right now? Is that what you want to guess? Yeah. You seem like the type of person to be on Fear Factor, to be honest with you. I mean, what kind of pepper was that?
It's the hottest one in the world, Carolina Reaper, baby.
So I guess you can eat cockroaches too.
I've done that plenty. Fernanda's in the audience right now. Don't we eat cockroaches and chocolate in Mexico? Okay, I do. Never mind.
I'm gonna guess the surfing.
Okay, what's your guess, Kay?
I was gonna go with surfing too. I don't know if you got the
balls.
the finesse for that.
Well, to be fair, you guys are right, but on a technicality, because it was a Class 4 hurricane and not a Class 5. I actually surf in hurricanes every time they come through Florida.
Really?
Most of the time falling, but yeah,
Okay.
we get out there every time. Mr. Joe Amos, he edits every single one of my podcasts, and he could play this game and win every single time, and he actually does it for the folks. So have either of you come up with some, and I'll let you go, whoever first has come up with it.
Yeah, I got some.
All right, George, let's go.
Okay. Let's see. I was born in Hawaii. I lived in Japan for 7 years. Oh, that's damn too specific. And let's see.
Here comes
I've
the
been
lie,
to-
folks.
I've been
Here
to
comes the lie.
I've been to Finland.
That seems real, too. What do you think, Kay?
I think Japan was too specific.
He called himself out a little
Yeah,
bit
a
of that,
little.
but I
He's
don't
trying
know
to
if he
give
went one way or the other.
Yeah, he kind of maybe he's playing mind tricks on us. You
Yeah.
know?
And he looks like a really honest dude, too.
I don't know.
Like, I think they could all be true just because I don't think he can lie.
I
I
don't.
don't
I
think
can't
you
lie.
can.
See? I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with been to Finland.
Finland, yeah.
You correct?
Yeah!
You are correct.
I feel like Hawaii seems like one of those things that I'm not supposed to guess,
Yeah.
but it's pretty cool.
My dad was in the military.
There we go.
So I was born in Hawaii, and then we moved to Japan after that, and I lived there for 7 years.
That 7 years was too
7 years
specific,
was too
right?
specific,
All right,
yep.
Kay, you guys nailed me. We got George. What about you?
All right. First one. I can do both a front flip and a back flip. Second one. I lived in Shanghai for a year. I was growing up. And the third one is I speak 4 languages.
I know my choice, George. You got yours?
I think I'm gonna go with the first one.
Me too, because
Yeah.
I know he can do a backflip, but I don't think he can do
You
a front one.
flip. Yeah, but then you also said he spoke multiple languages at the beginning of this episode.
Right,
so,
right,
you know,
right.
that one kind of.
I'm laying a trap for you.
Yeah, it might be the number.
Damn.
It might speak
It might be
5
the number. It might be
languages instead of
5
4
languages. Hey, maybe he could speak 75 languages, like you
Right?
said. You never know.
I think he already says laying a trap. It's got to be the language thing. You speak 5
No,
or 6,
maybe he's
don't
tricking
you
you right now.
Man, come on.
Dude, I'm trying to play mind games. I didn't want to make it easy. Why do you think I went last?
I'm doing front and back flip because if you can do them, we're gonna have you do it right here in front of these cameras live on this podcast. If you can do both.
I'll do a backflip live on this camera if you want.
All right.
So you can't do a front flip then, huh?
Yeah, that's a lie.
Yep.
All right, with that being said, I want to thank all the people that we've worked with this week. Valmer, Omega, Universal Robots, Jurgens, Sugami will be tomorrow. Zoller, Matsura, Fanic, Lindesnick, and Modig. EDM Performance is tomorrow. Shunk, SW, Starrag, Autodesk, Martin Trunnion, Siemens, Air Turbine, Fuji. Heimer will be tomorrow. That'll be the last one of our event this week. Methods Machine Tools, Akuma, Datanomics, and Siemens is actually recording twice. If you want to be on the Gun Show, utilize the hashtag #GetMeOnTheGunShow and hyperlink me on LinkedIn at Tony Gunn or on Instagram at Tony Gunn Global. And to close this thing out, my buddy Kay is going to do a
let's go.
backflip on the camera
Let's go
right now.
Shout out to Western Cheerleading. That's where I learned it.
Oh.
No joke.
I love it. I love it. He'll do a backflip and I'll take one more bite. How's that sound? Is that a good way to end this thing?
I'll give you $60 right now if you eat the whole thing.
Hell no. My body's worth more than $60. I'll tell you that right now. $60. Are you kidding me?
That's the only cash I
All
got.
right. Hey! And here is the bite. David, go ahead and zoom in on that. And we are good to go. That is the Gun Show. Thank you all for watching and listening. Kay and George, you have been both amazing. Thank you so much for joining me.
thank
I am
you.
now dying once more. Oh my gosh, that's hot.